This week, I am in the throes of celebrating my youngest's birthday. It's always a fun time to have a birthday in the house, and my baby child is growing up 1 year older. It's been quite a year for us because this year I have my last child left in elementary school. So, this sweet little girl of mine is growing up and zooming through fifth grade. And here in less than a year, I will be done with parenting a child in elementary school, and all my kids will be in middle school and high school. And goodness gracious, just a few years after that, I will be sending my first off to college. And try as I might to have kept my kids young and safe under my wing, those kids just insisted on growing up. We have a joke in our house. Sometimes I grab their shoulders and I tell them, "Stop growing up." Or if something happens, like they outgrow their shoes or they outgrow their clothes or their jacket or something like that, I always tell them, I'm like, well, it's your fault. I mean, I told you not to grow up and you insisted on doing it anyway. And so that's what you get. Now your clothes don't fit. It's an ongoing joke, which of course I know we can't stop them from growing up. I can't keep my kids little and sweet and snuggly all the time. They are growing into these beautiful, amazing young women who delight me and challenge me in ways that I could never have imagined. But it got me thinking about, so I recently read this book. It's called Interior Freedom by Jacques Philippe. And he is I think he's a monk or priest. Anyway, he leads retreats. And so he has a handful of books, but they are written in really, really, really simple language. They are basically the written format of the presentations that he gives for people who are on retreat. So the concepts build on one another, and they're really meant to be taken and then really sat with and meditated and asking for how God wants you to implement those into your life. And so I highly recommend this book. I've got the link down below in the notes if you want to check it out yourself. Like I said, it's a small book. It's a really easy read as far as like words and understanding, but it's a rich read as far as the depth of spirituality and insights that he provides. And one of my big takeaways from his book is that this interior freedom, which essentially is the peace of God, right? Knowing that we are who we're meant to be, where we're meant to be, and doing what we're meant to do, right? That joy and security and peace that we get from the Lord, he calls interior freedom. And so the foundation of interior freedom is perfect acceptance of whatever is going on. And so what he says is the more that we try to change things, control other people, control circumstances that are completely out of our control, the more that we will just feel overwhelmed and frustrated and angsty and all of the things that create all of these negative emotions in us. And so when we can create a habit and a willful, holy acceptance, we can start working towards this interior freedom, which everything I've read in this book is like, yeah, that's what I want. It sounds amazing, right? And I'm working on it. I'm heading in that direction. Definitely not perfectly there yet, but his book gives me hope that I could achieve it. And now this holy acceptance that we have, it is not um, just throwing our hands up, throwing in the towel, giving up and saying, well, I don't care. I can't do anything about it anyway. And so whatever, people can do whatever they want and things are just going to happen and there's no hope, right? That would not be in holy acceptance. That would be either denial or complete despair about the circumstances. And so the holy acceptance is really, really embracing that whatever is going on, the Lord is either giving to us for a specific purpose or will draw something good out of it. So it is saying, I accept that these circumstances are happening. And so amid these circumstances, what is God calling me to? How is God working in my life? Where does God need me to be? What does God want me to do? Right? So he is calling us exactly where we are. We don't have to have a perfect prayer life before God's going to start talking to us and calling us to live a holier, better life. We don't have to have a perfect marriage before we can start encountering Christ through our spouse. We definitely do not have to have perfect children before we can be learning to grow in virtue and love and charity and all of these beautiful things through parenting our children, even if we keep screwing up and even if they don't look perfect. And when we go through life really overwhelmed and frustrated and banging our head against the wall, trying to change things that can't be changed, we interiorly will be trapped. We'll be imprisoned by these thoughts, right? So if we're constantly focused on, I wish I had a better job, or I wish that my spouse would just do XYZ to make me happy, or I wish that my children would just behave the way they're supposed to, or come back to the faith, or, all of these other things, or geez, I wish that, we had more money. All of these external things that maybe in the present moment we have absolutely no control over. Instead, what we're invited to do is say, man, so I really don't like my job, but I accept that this is what's paying my bills today. And so I'm going to go, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be the best employee that I can be. I'm going to have the best attitude. I'm going to try to be the face of Christ for other people in my workplace today. Or, geez, my spouse is really, really challenging me. And I feel like I'm not getting the love and attention and affection that I need and deserve from this person. So, Lord, I'm going to ask you to give me that love and attention and affection. And I'm going to try to love my spouse to the best of my ability, despite the fact that I feel like I'm not getting what I need. And it can go on with our kids and with our finances and with our, friendships and with all of these things that we encounter. And if we can start to wholly accept that what is going on in our life is exactly where we're supposed to be right now, we can start to build towards that interior freedom. So for me that week, this is accepting that my little girls are growing up and they are not going to stay little forever. And so I'm just trying to enjoy the moments that I have with them and embrace all of the joy and the fun of celebrating a birthday this week. And so for you, I encourage you this week, when you are frustrated or overwhelmed or really feeling despairing about a certain person or situation in your life, ask the Lord to help you work towards this holy acceptance so that you can start making steps towards interior freedom. That's all I have for you this week. I'm Maria Riley, just a sinner in the throes of trying to be a saint.